Have you ever used an app and wondered how it gets that spark? You know, that little bit of intelligence? Well, today we're going to pull back the curtain and show you exactly how to build your very first AI-powered Python API. We're going to connect a simple application to a powerful language model. Basically, we're going to give it a brain. Let's get right into it. So this is the fundamental question, right? You've got an application, but how do you make it genuinely smart? How do you give it the ability to understand what you're saying, to reason, and maybe even to get creative? That's the exact blueprint we're going to lay out today. You know, at its core, the idea is actually pretty simple. We're taking the incredible intelligence of an AI model and just making it available over the web. What that means is that any application, doesn't matter if it's a tiny script or a huge platform, can tap into that intelligence using a nice, clean, standard interface. I want you to think of what we're doing here as building a bridge. So on one side of the river, you have your application code doing its thing. On the other side, you've got the massive power of a large language model. Our API, that's Application Programming Interface, is that bridge. It's what allows the two sides to talk to each other seamlessly. Okay, so for any build, you need the right tools in your toolbox. And for this one, our toolbox is super lean, but also really, really powerful. It's made up of 3 key components that are just designed to work together perfectly. Let's meet our tech trio. First up, we've got FastAPI. The best way to think about this is as the scaffolding or the frame of our house. It's a modern Python framework that is, and this won't surprise you, incredibly fast. It handles all of the complicated web server setup for us, so we can focus on the important stuff, our app's logic, instead of all that boilerplate code. Next up, we have the absolute star of the show, the LLM, or Large Language Model. This is the brain of our entire operation. It's this incredibly sophisticated AI that's been trained on just insane amounts of text. So it can understand prompts, it can answer questions, and it can generate text that sounds just like a human wrote it. This is where the magic comes from. And finally, we need an engine to actually run the brain. That's where Allama comes in. And honestly, this tool is a total game changer. It lets you download and run these super powerful open source LLMs right on your own computer. That means you get total control, total privacy, you're not relying on some third-party cloud service, it's all yours. So you might be wondering, okay, but why FastAPI? Why not some other framework? Well, for starters, it is built for high performance. It's just way faster than a lot of the older frameworks. But my favorite part? It automatically generates interactive API documentation for you. That is a huge time saver. It's just a modern, clean way to write better, more solid code. So, when you put it all together, why this specific trio? Well, it's kind of the perfect combination, isn't it? You get the raw speed of FastAPI, you get the privacy and control of running a model locally with Allama, and you get the incredible intelligence of a modern LLM. And the best part? The whole setup is surprisingly simple. All right, toolbox is packed. Now let's pull out the blueprint. We're not going to get lost in the weeds with code here. Instead, we're going to focus on the 4 key high-level steps that bring this intelligent API to life. It really just boils down to this 4-step dance. First, you stand up your FastAPI server so it's ready and listening for incoming messages. Second, you define a specific URL, which we call an endpoint, something like /AskAI. Third, and this is the magic part, you write the code that takes a user's question and you hand it off to Allama to process with the LLM. And finally, step 4, you take the answer the AI gives you and send it right back to the user. That's it. Okay, theory is great and all, but let's see how this actually works in practice. Let's follow a single request from a user, from the moment they hit send all the way to the moment a smart answer comes back. This is where our blueprint becomes a real, living, breathing application. It all starts so simply. A person somewhere types a question into an app and hits send. But that one little click, it kicks off this fascinating journey for that little piece of data. So let's trace its path right through our system. Okay, follow the bouncing ball here. The user's question first slams into our FastAPI server. Our API acts like a quick little messenger, immediately forwarding that question over to Allama. Allama then hands the question to the LLM, the brain. Once the brain figures out an answer, it passes it back to Allama, which sends it back to our FastAPI server, and finally, all the way back to the user who asked the question in the first place. It's just a clean and honestly a surprisingly fast round trip. So we've gone through the tools, we've looked at the blueprint, and you've seen how it all works together. The really fun part starts now. The big question is, What can you build with this? Now that you have this knowledge, now that you know how to give your applications a brain, what kind of amazing tools are you going to create? I mean, the possibilities are just incredible, right? You could build a super smart chatbot for your website, or maybe an internal tool that automatically summarizes those super long reports. How about a creative partner that helps you brainstorm story ideas, or a tool to help junior developers understand really complex code? You could even build a personalized recommendation engine for movies or books. This architecture, it's the foundation for all of it. So, as we wrap this up, I just want to leave you with this one thought. You now have the fundamental blueprint for integrating powerful, modern AI into your own projects. You have the tools, you have the plan. The only question left is the most exciting one of all. What are you going to build first?